Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV Alternative Media Television. I wanted to recap the historic and radical transformation of America on the heels of Obama's executive action, the act of a king, the act of an emperor. Now, first and foremost, this isn't an attack on the Hispanic community at all. And this is a very divisive issue. And personally, I have no problem with that. And I also have no problem with reform. If there is immigration reform, as long as both houses, Congress and Senate, approve of it, and there's a balance of power and the government is respected and the Constitution is respected. But what the President of the United States did yesterday was illegal, and that's the bottom line. It's not just illegal, it's treason against the United States Constitution and the American people. It goes against the direct wishes of the American people who just voted in a dominant Republican Party in both houses in the midterm elections in both the House of Congress and also the Senate. And it's basically a giant FU to the American people. And this sets an amazing precedent because it shows you that the president can do anything that he damn well pleases. And this is very dangerous. Remember, America was founded. The Declaration of Independence, our revolution, 1776, was ignited to fight back and against, to free ourselves from imperial power, from kings, from queens, from England, from the dumb shit redcoats that were beating on their drums. That's why we had a revolution. That's why we had a revolt. To get away from that, to establish a nation founded under God, based on constitutional principles. And although not perfect, and of course our founding fathers were not perfect as well, they did a pretty damn good job setting up this country. And as a byproduct of that, and as a result, we've been one of the strongest, arguably strongest nations in the world throughout history. We've been economically dominant, militarily dominant, but most importantly, our people have dominated the global landscape. We've had a strong moral backbone, I believe, in this country, although not perfect and imperfect in a lot of ways, a strong people that love and fight for our country in the best interests of America, and a general respect for our government, the branches of government, balance of power, etc. But this president just showed his true colors. He showed you, the American people, that not only is he a traitor, but that he could care less about our history, the founding of this great nation, the constitutional republic itself, our founding fathers, probably rolling over in their graves. Again, there's a reason the country was set up the way that it was. There's a reason why the First Amendment's the freedom of speech, so people like me can come on camera and voice their opinions without being executed. There's a reason why we have the Second Amendment to protect ourselves, to form well-regulated militias, to fight back against government tyranny. Not just enemies that could potentially invade the United States of America, as the country has been weakened in recent years, courtesy of President Barack Obama, but most importantly to fight back against our own government, if need be. What's happening in Washington, D.C. today, folks, is tyranny at the highest level. It's illegal, it's treason, and it's also traitorous. There is no other way to slice it. Again, taking executive action, making and declaring an executive order because the Congress simply won't pass a bill, as the president said, is treason. Doing what you want with no regard for the American people and our branches of government is a traitorous act. And that's the bottom line. Again, I'm not against immigration reform. There can be changes. That's up for debate. But let our houses, both of them, Congress and the Senate and the American people, ultimately decide. You know, what the president has done now is not only captured up to 5 million new Democratic votes, which is a part of the strategy, also to divide and conquer. Note specifically that the Michael Brown verdict is likely to come out today or in the next 48 hours or so, also not a coincidence. The entire strategy of Obama and the oligarchy that he represents through the mainstream media is to divide and conquer the masses, to create more division, to ignite a race war. Perfect example of this is I will vocalize very brazen opinions, my personal opinions about immigration reform and these executive actions, and people will call me a racist because I disagree with the president taking unilateral executive action, displaying imperial powers of a king. I'm not a racist. And again, this isn't an attack on Hispanics, blacks, whites, Martians, anyone for that matter. It's an attack on our Constitution. It's an attack on the United States of America. It's an attack on the House of Congress, on the Senate. the very republic itself that many Americans, by the way, millions, have shed their blood for, have died, and are still dying overseas right now in these egregious wars, most particularly in the Middle East. Are we to shit on all of that? Are we to piss like Obama has just done all over that blood, all over that sacrifice, all over what it is and what has made up America today? Although not perfect and imperfect in a lot of ways, a great country. And now by opening up our borders, he's set a really bad precedent. He's made everyone that has tried to go through legal measures to get illegal channels to get into the United States look like fools. He has rewarded criminals. He has rewarded criminal activity. He just telegraphed to the rest of the world, come over illegally, and if you're here long enough, we'll just let you stay. Now, he says they're not going to get Medicare benefits and Social Security, etc. But notice how he said that he didn't say that they couldn't vote. Again, that very much a part of the strategy. You know, the United States of America, one of the reasons I think we've been so strong, we've had so much strength, we've been so successful is because we've had a unified people. A nation of immigrants, mostly from Europe with a dominant language, culture, value system, religion. It's one of the reasons why we've had such a strong country. What Obama has just done, in reality, is created a United States of I don't know what it is. Is it the United States of Mexico? I mean, hey, if you're going to open up the borders, why even have borders? Why not just let every nation in, whether or not it's Mexico or Switzerland or Canada or any other nation for that matter? Why not? Why even have borders? Why even have a government? Why even have Congress? Why even have the Senate? Why even have America? And see, that's the point. Obama doesn't give a shit about America. He's a Saul Alinsky sleeper cell to destroy this country. And this is what he's effectively done. Again, giving a giant FU to everything that America stands for. And that's something you can't argue. Again, bottom line, what the president did last night is illegal. Can't be done. Not in America. But he did it anyways. Again, they gave us our First Amendment, the freedom of speech, for a reason, so people like me can vocalize their opinions without being put in front of a firing squad. There's a reason they gave us the Second Amendment to form well-regulated militias and defend ourselves. The American people need to understand that what the president did last night was not only flagrant, but illegal. And it threatens the very sanctity and safety of this great nation. It affects you, your family, and everything that we've come to know that has made America so great. The American people need to wake up. You need to understand this isn't a race issue. This isn't an attack against the Hispanic community or anyone else for that matter. If you want reform, let the Congress and Senate agree to that. That's why we have a government. That's why we have balance and branches of government and a balance of power. For every give, there's a take. But without that, we have the same kings and queens that we fought against and declared revolution against in 1776. Millions of Americans shedding their blood through the years, through many wars, to protect the very sanctity and goodness of this great country. An imperfect land, but a pretty damn good one. Made up of great and honorable people, in my opinion. And personally, I want to protect that. I want to keep it the way it is, so that we don't become what all these other countries have been trying to achieve for centuries. America is a very special place, and it must be protected. And it's not up to the president. It's up to you. It's up to the American people. It's up to me to do that. All of us, just regular Johns and Janes out there. Your friends, your family, your children. The time is now to organize at our churches. The time is now to organize politically. The time is now to organize, to join hands, to join forces. Again, this is about liberty, folks. This is about God. This is about country. This is about what is doing what is right. And it is something we are all responsible for. God bless America. And God bless all those who have shed blood to protect it. I'm Christopher Green. Get it out everywhere. Make it viral. Hard-hitting it in your face. And click the link below to support our sponsor.